All right, so my name is Susannah Tombes. I am the secretary with the Associates of St. John Bosco, and I'm here with Brother Joseph Teresa of the Discalced Carmelites, and we are here for an interview. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
So brother, my first question is really, how did ASJB play a role in your vocation and how you were able to enter right after college?
Yeah, ASJB, I mean, you guys were all very helpful with, especially with the scholarships. It provided me with the opportunity to be able to join the Carmelites just as soon as possible after I graduated. And I didn't have to worry as much about my student loans because, you know, going to a private Catholic school like Franciscan, there can be a lot of loans after that. So the scholarship was very helpful. And also the meetings over the summer, those provided me with a little opportunity to kind of work in the apostolate in some regard, working with that sort of spiritual ministry that I'll be having as a Carmelite, being able to help people try and keep the faith throughout the summer when they're home from college, and then going back to college, going in with that fire that'll kind of push them through the year. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you for sharing. I wanted to ask, I guess specifically, what was your experience with serving during the college nights? I mean, maybe detail what specifically you did, and then, yeah, anything else you want to add about the experience itself.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I tend to like to stay in the background a bit. So it was kind of nice that I didn't have to take a role being one of the speakers or anything like that. I know I'll have to do that in the future, but it was kind of nice that I didn't have to do that yet.
Right.
So yeah, but it was just a nice opportunity to serve the church, and especially the youth of the church. Not that, you know, everyone was not that much younger than me.
Right.
But still a great opportunity to serve people. And it's such a formative time going into college.
Yeah, it is for sure.
Yeah.
Did it play a part at all in being at college yourself?
Yeah, well, being at Franciscan, it was a super Catholic college.
Right.
But it did help over the summer. Just having a bit of a Catholic community, that other Catholics that I could talk to.
Yeah.
It was nice. It was kind of a relief, a breath of fresh air over the summer.
Yeah, I felt the same way. Were you ever able to make any connections with other Franciscan students?
I don't think there were any that went to
Okay.
Franciscan, that went to ASJB. But I mean, based off of what I saw from volunteering, so many people connected with each other, especially the ones from Virginia Tech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And William and Mary, I think.
Yeah.
That was where you went to school, right?
I went to Mary Washington, but I think there's something about the Virginia schools that we all just connect together.
Yeah.
And so we find each other in the world, we all become friends. But yeah, I know William and Mary is a big one too. And I think it's bigger now. The more that the college nights have grown, the more people are finding out about it. And so then the more people who are entering into these bigger colleges are coming to the nights so that they can be formed the same way that you were.
Yeah. Yeah, and my sister's going too, and she actually she connected with someone else who's going to Benedictine, and they'll both be going to that college night.
That's great.
I don't know which one it is, I forget, but
yeah.
But they're both going now, so they'll get in contact over that, and she'll have a friend going off to Benedictine. So
that's great. No, it's exactly the point of the mission itself. Yeah. So that's amazing. And then if you just wanted to kind of give a quick maybe synopsis of how you came to enter the Carmelites specifically over any other order or over the diocesan priesthood?
Yeah, I mean, mine's a pretty straightforward story. There wasn't any big conversion or anything like that. Because I grew up in a Catholic family, and so it was kind of just like one step after the next, just like a natural progression.
Sure.
But I knew from pretty young that I probably wanted to be a priest.
Okay.
I kind of thought like, that sounds like a cool job, maybe when I'm older. And then of course, like as I grew up, then the vocation kind of grew up with me. But yeah, because originally I was thinking diocesan priesthood. But then I was thinking it was mostly community for me, that I wanted a community, other people who could support me in it, and other people that I could fall back on. And so I started looking into the religious priesthood.
Okay.
The first place I went to was the Dominicans. And at the time, they were really a perfect fit for me, because I had already started studying philosophy in high school. I was reading the Summa. I was a bit of a nerd.
Great.
Yeah. So I really liked the Dominicans when I visited in high school. But then when I started more seriously discerning at the end of college, I went back on a vocations visit to the Dominicans, and it was kind of like whatever was there before wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas like I could still be friends with these guys, like I really like them, but this isn't really my way of life. And then I got in contact with the Carmelites. My mom is a secular Carmelite, so that was my connection through it. And the Carmelites kind of taught me how to pray. I read Teresa and John in high school, and that kind of set the stage for my prayer throughout my life. Without me realizing it, really, it was really like right before I went to the Carmelites, then I realized like, oh yeah, the seed was planted a long time ago, and I didn't really realize it until now. But my prayer has been very Carmelite.
It's really beautiful.
Yeah. But then, I mean, going to visit the Carmelites, it was like, this is home. This is heaven for me. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, sure.
Is there anything else that you maybe want to share with someone who is thinking about discerning?
Yeah, I mean, for anyone who's discerning, I would say just go for it. The only way really to discern something is you just got to go for it. You get in contact with the vocations director, you start talking with people, visit the communities if you're thinking about religious life, because that's how you really get to know the family, the charism. So just don't be afraid of it, and don't feel like you're forced to do it either, because I know some families that, like even myself at first, it felt like, the priesthood is the highest vocation and religious priesthood is the very highest.
Sure.
And I want to do the most that I can and the best that I can. But that's not why God is going to call you.
Right.
It has to be him calling you specifically to this vocation. So don't feel like you have to join it, but at the same time, don't be afraid of it. If you think that he's calling you there, then respond to that call. It should be something that gives you deep peace and joy in your heart, and gives you every opportunity to love in every way that you can, and something that really makes you happy.
That's beautiful. That's great advice. That's great advice for really anyone. And then my last question would be if there's any advice that you have to incoming college freshmen or just college students in general, on how to remain faithful during the world that we live in, especially right now.
Yeah, I feel like I could give so many pieces of advice for that. I don't know where I would start, but probably have a daily prayer schedule. Just a little bit of prayer each day, being silent with God. Making sure you go to Mass at least every Sunday. Daily Mass is such a great gift if you can make that. And then having a faith community, like a Catholic community that you can fall back on, like the Newman Center, Focus, Catholic Campus Ministry, anything like that is vital for retaining your faith in college. Me being at Franciscan, it was kind of like the entire campus was the campus ministry.
Right.
But I know that that's like, even at Franciscan, I had my household, which is kind of my family at Franciscan. And it's really important to have a group of people that share the same values as you and can support you and understand you, where you're coming from. Yeah, that's very important to keep that. Yeah, prayer and community. That's it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate your time, and we'll be praying for you, and please pray for us as well here at ASJB and all the students that we serve.
Yeah,